Have you ever had that feeling, you open a tax bill, you look at the number, and you just think, where on earth did they get that from? Well, you're definitely not alone. It turns out HMRC is charging millions of us for money we never even earned. So today, with some fantastic guidance from the expert tax advisors at ProTax Accounting, we're going to figure out exactly why this is happening and, more importantly, what you can do about it. Right, let's start with this number. £3.5 billion. That isn't a company's profit or a lottery jackpot. No, that's the absolutely staggering amount that HMRC overcharged UK workers in income tax just last year. This isn't just a small mistake. It's a massive, systemic issue that's hitting millions of people's bank accounts. And behind that huge number, it's not just data, is it? It's real people. People like a freelance writer based in London who was suddenly faced with a bill for thousands of pounds on income that she'd never made. And this isn't some one-off horror story. It's a problem that catches so many people out, whether you're an employee or you work for yourself. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to pull back the curtain on what we're calling HMRC's billion-pound guessing game. Then, we'll dive into the 3 most common traps that catch people out. After that, we get to the really good part, how you can take back control. And finally, we'll talk about when it might just be time to call in the experts for a helping hand. Okay, let's get into it. Section 1, the guessing game. Now, let's be really clear here. This isn't about people trying to avoid tax. This is all about how the system itself, through its own automated processes and best guesses, can get things seriously wrong, leaving you to foot the bill. Now, have a look at this. The sheer scale of it is pretty mind-blowing. In just 1 year, a massive 5.6 million people overpaid their tax. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of Scotland. And on the flip side, about 2 million people underpaid. It just goes to show you how often the system's estimates are way off the mark, in both directions. And this quote really gets to the heart of the matter. As tax partner Neela Chauhan points out, the responsibility, the onus, is on you. It's on the taxpayer to spot the mistakes. You just can't sit back and assume HMRC will notice they've overcharged you and automatically send you a refund. Because you know what? If you don't check it, you might never see that money again. Right, let's talk about the first big trap. Now, if you're self-employed, a freelancer, a contractor, anyone with a variable income, you're gonna wanna listen closely to this bit. It's called the payment on account trap. And honestly, it's a huge headache for so many people. So what on earth is a payment on account? Well, think of it like this. HMRC is trying to help you spread out your tax bill. Instead of one giant payment, you pay in 2 smaller chunks. And how do they decide how much you should pay? Simple. They just look at what you earned last year and assume you're going to earn exactly the same this year. And right there, that's the problem. And this is where it all falls apart. HMRC's system is built on one simple but often totally wrong assumption that your income never changes. Let's go back to that freelancer in London. She had a brilliant year in 2024/25, working hard to save for a house. But the next year, 2025/26, things quietened down and her income dropped. A lot. Did that stop HMRC? Nope. They still sent her a bill based on that previous amazing year, demanding she pay tax on money she never even made. Okay, here's the pro tip. You are not stuck with that massive bill. If your income has dropped, you can and you should contact HMRC to reduce your payments on account. But, and this is a really big but, be careful. If you reduce them too much and you end up earning more than you thought, HMRC will charge you interest on the difference, so you've got to be realistic. Right, so that's the self-employed. But what if you're an employee on a regular PAYE salary? You probably think you're safe, right? Well, maybe not. You'll definitely want to hear this next part, especially if you ever get a bonus or have company benefits. There's an automated glitch in the system that can end up overcharging you for months without you even realizing it. Let me break down how this happens. It's actually quite simple and a little bit scary. So the tax year starts in April, everything's fine, your tax code is correct. Then let's say in August, you get a one-off bonus. Brilliant! But here's the problem. HMRC's automated system sees this extra money in your payslip and it makes a huge mistake. It assumes this higher amount is your new monthly salary from now on, so it changes your tax code to take more tax, meaning you overpay every single month for the rest of the tax year. And it's not just about bonuses. This is about any outdated information HMRC has for you. So just take a second to think. Have you recently stopped using a company car? Have you changed jobs? Maybe you started drawing a pension alongside your work. Any one of these things could mean your tax code is wrong and you're quietly paying too much tax every single month. And there's more. There's a third trap that we absolutely have to talk about. It comes in the form of a letter from HMRC. And despite what it's called, it's often anything but simple. If one of these lands on your doormat, whatever you do, please don't just put it in a drawer and forget about it. So let me just ask you directly, have you ever received one of these simple assessment letters from HMRC, or maybe you know someone who has? If the answer is yes, or if you get one in the future, then what I'm about to say is absolutely critical. So who actually gets these things? Well, it's usually for people whose tax situation is a bit more complicated, but not so much that they need to do a full self-assessment tax return. Maybe you've got some untaxed income from savings, or you need to pay tax on your state pension. Crucially, they're also sent to people who HMRC thinks owes them $3,000 or more in tax that they couldn't collect through a normal salary. Now, here is the most important number in this entire section: 60. You have just 60 days from the date on that letter to tell HMRC if you think their figures are wrong. If you miss that deadline, it becomes so much harder to fix. And please remember, the figures in that letter are just HMRC's best guess. They can be wrong, and it's up to you to check them. Okay, we've talked a lot about the problems. Now for the bit you've been waiting for, the solution. This next section is all about giving you the power with some really simple, practical steps you can take right now to see if you're being overcharged and hopefully get some of your hard-earned money back. Let's break this down into 4 really easy steps. Step 1, grab your latest payslip and look for your tax code. For most people with one job in 2025/26, it should be 1257L. If it's something different, it's worth finding out why. Step 2, log into your personal tax account on the gov.uk website or the HMRC app. Step 3, compare. Check what HMRC thinks you're earning against what's actually happening. Do they think you still have that old company car? Is their estimate of your income totally wrong? And finally, step 4, update it. If the information is wrong, you can correct it right then and there. It honestly can take just a few minutes. And here's a little nugget of information that you're going to love. This isn't just about fixing your tax for the future. If you find out you've been on the wrong tax code, you can actually claim back any tax you've overpaid for the last 4 tax years. For some people, that can add up to a really nice surprise refund. Now, we have covered a lot today, and while following those steps can often fix the problem, let's face it, sometimes things are a bit more complicated. So in this final section, let's talk about when it might be time to pick up the phone and call in the professionals. Let's be honest with each other. Tax can be confusing, it can be complicated, and it can be pretty intimidating. If you've looked at your tax code, you've logged into your account, and you still just feel completely lost, please know you are not alone. It's totally okay to ask for help. When you're in a situation like this, you really want someone on your side who deals with HMRC every single day. The team at ProTax Accountant are absolute experts at this stuff. You can give them a call, send a quick WhatsApp, or drop them an email. They can look at your specific situation and even deal with HMRC directly for you, taking all of that stress and confusion right off your shoulders. So I guess the big takeaway from all this is simple. Don't just assume the tax man is always right. Check your numbers, understand your rights, and take action to get your money back. Now, just remember, all of this has been for general guidance. Everyone's situation is different, so it's always a good idea to get professional advice from an expert, like the team at ProTax Accountant, before you make any big decisions. And for more clear, helpful advice like this, do consider subscribing to their channel. Thanks so much for watching.